Hello everybody, Rob here for Average Hobbies, and welcome to my first actual hobby video. I've got a couple LEGO videos on the channel prior to this, but I also wanted to do my first actual games, well, my actual first Warhammer video. So what I wanted to do today was talk about what my reintroduction or my history into the hobby actually is. So I used to play Warhammer with some buddies from work almost 20 years ago. I believe it was 4th edition Warhammer. I think it was actually 3rd/4th. I started in 3rd and then 4th came out a couple years later and played 4th edition. And from what I understand, we're now on 9th. So it's almost double the amount of editions, and it's apparently changed a lot. But yeah, so I started with the Battle of Macragge set with the Ultramarines and the Tyranids, which got me into my love for both the Space Marines and the Tyranids. Long story short, I got rid of a lot of it when I found out we were having a kid, because I had a bit of a panic attack. I had a Space Marine army, classic Ultramarines. I had I'll just say the names. I had an Ultramarines army, around 3,000 points. I had a 3,000 point Black Templar army, also Space Marines. I was working on and had all the parts and all the models for a 3,000 point Tyranid army. I loved my Carnifex. And last but not least, I had a 500 point, was planning on building up to a 3,000 point Imperial Guard army with artillery and Lehman Russ tanks and all that stuff. So when I was actually getting into it, Forge World was its own independent company, to put that in perspective. Yes, apparently there's now things where you use command points. Wasn't a thing when I played, so I'm kind of interested in getting back into it. So what I was going to talk about also was a few things that I've done in the past. So I also collected, and I've never painted, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Nah, that's not going to work. Dwarf for Warhammer Fantasy Battles, which apparently doesn't exist anymore. But here's a couple pictures of my. Here's some of my Imperial Guard, which are green, which isn't going to work. Oh wait, how about my my Terminator that I painted almost 20 years ago? Oh wait, it's green. What about the free orc that I got in a dwarf, White Dwarf magazine? Oh wait, it's mostly green. So I didn't think that through, because I have my green filter on. Here is a Space Wolf. I started collecting Space Wolves. Didn't really have an army. I think I had like 4 models from Space Wolves. Here's the one. Oh, you can actually kind of see him a little bit. So nothing too crazy. I was in the process of getting ready to paint him. All I had painted right now for him was his gun. I started painting one shoulder, and you can see it's actually a. I don't know if you'll be able to see right there. No, that's not going to work. But it was my first version. It was actually my first attempt at a conversion. So he has the Space Wolf cloak, the Space Wolf pack back in the day. And apparently these aren't things anymore for people. But yeah, Space Wolf cloak, the pack, because he was going to be my sergeant. And it turns out that my first conversion, because of the way the sets worked, you would have to buy specific Templar units, specific this, specific that. Nowadays, I've heard that all you gotta do is buy a special blister pack that just changes it. Hey, my screensaver. There we go. So I also had a Tyranid army. My Tyranid army, on the other hand, got rid of it as well, which is a shame. But yeah, so I haven't played in almost 20 some odd years. I haven't collected or painted in maybe about 18 to 19 years. But yeah, so I've decided I'm going to get back into it. And I've decided what I want to do. So I was trying to figure out how best to jump back in. And obviously I want to do the painting and all that stuff. So I thought, you know what, my favorite army when I finished, or when I stopped playing, was the Tyranids. And I thought, you know what, I'll hop back in with the Tyranids and try them. I originally went with, I want to say this is Leviathan. No, this is Leviathan. But I was trying to figure out which of the high fleets, because when I was in, it was Leviathan, Behemoth, and one other. There was only 3 actual high fleets. I mean, you can make your own, right? But now apparently there's like 5 or 6, apparently someone told me. So I have to look into that. I don't know if they're like official, unofficial, or whatever. I know there's unlimited amounts of everything, because there's always the make your own faction part of the game. But yeah, I thought, you know what? I wouldn't mind jumping in to play, get back into the game and play as the Tyranids. Overall, you get a lot of models, a lot of bang for your buck. So I was trying to figure out, like, if I got back into it, how much was this going to cost me? So I was looking at the combat patrols, because I was looking at a lot of the models, and I'm like, well, the army that I want is mostly going to be, I would prefer it to be Hormagaunts, and get that close in ripping options here. But they're apparently sold out. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'll be going with the Hormagaunts, which are Termagaunts, which are here, which are going to be the primary unit, I guess. And then I started going through, and I'm like, okay, well, the battle patrol is 180. And I just clicked on the button. I didn't need to do that because I have it right here. Nope, I have it right here. I was like, okay, so it's $180. You get 3 packs of the Hormagaunts. And you get to pick, the usual, if they're double gunned or single gunned. You get your warriors and you get your Hive Tyrant. It is $180 Canadian. I'm like, all right, not bad. So I priced it out separately to see just how much money I would save. And right now it's almost $100 cheaper. I haven't even calculated paints or anything like that. I've got brushes, I've got clippers, I've got all that stuff. I even have my files still. I just don't have the models or the paints. So I'm like, okay, well, if I get back into it, I'm probably going to go with, I believe it's Behemoth. Oh, I still spelled that wrong. Oh, no, I spelled it right. Yeah, Behemoth. Yeah, because that's what I went with before. Now, the reason why I went with High Fleet Behemoth was actually the colors. I'm still not that talented. And I think originally getting back into this, my plan is to probably use the contrast paints because they're kind of new. And to do a red skin as well. Do the new carapace. But what I want to do is probably, back in the day, I would dry brush the blue in. Kind of like, oh, that's, okay, not that one. That looks like marble. Kind of like, here we go. So I would dry brush the blue. Here it looks like they've done the single stroke idea, which is probably what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to pull it off because I'm not talented, but I used to just dry brush the kind of like that turquoisey color. Now with the contrast paints, with some of the pictures, some of the things I've seen people do, is actually do the little stripe, like do a layer of the turquoise color, then do stripes in white, and then using the contrast paint on top of that, using the same contrast paint. So not only do you get the double layer of the contrast paint, and then making it darker, kind of like how it is here, but then it also stains those white little strokes that you do. So that's what I'm thinking of doing as my first foray into it. Tyranids, very easy to paint, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I did them. My plan will be to make them a little bit more difficult for myself. I'm going to attempt to make it a little bit more difficult for myself because I haven't done it in a long time. But my plan will be probably to do like a contrast red, then come back and do a different color for all the little veiny bits and all the little like bendy parts and stuff like that, including the eyes. I don't know. I kind of want a little bit of a contrast, but not quite a contrast between these areas here and the skin. But I want it maybe a lighter color, or even just a off color, where you're looking at going, wait, what is that? Like it takes a second for you to, kind of pick up on the difference, or I might just go for a complete utter difference. What is this person doing? No, they just okay. Pinterest. Where was I looking? Yeah, here. So my idea is to do the same thing, that kind of skin fleshy color for those. A nice black for the gun. Obviously the eyes have to match. But my plan is to do something for these little areas, these little recessed regions in here somewhat. I mean, yeah, I'll probably end up getting like an ink and giving it a nice wash. Mostly the skins, obviously, will get a nice little bit of... I've never used contrast paints before, so I don't know if I might wait to get an ink. But my plan is to do a red with maybe like a... I don't know. Something that'll show that this is actually like, you know, like actual like skin and stuff. Maybe a pink. Well, no, not a pink. But definitely gonna come up with something to use in these recesses that's a little different, that's offset from the red. But yeah, then use probably a bit of white here, and I think it's... I was seeing the color kind of like... Well, no, that's a purple. See, these are a lot... would be a lot easier to... I think because I think this is Leviathan, right? Whoa, I so spelled that wrong. Yeah, those are Leviathan. See, this is easier, right? This is just white, purple, and then pink. And I never really found them that hard to paint, because it was just you get a white, you get a pink paint, or a darker pink paint, and you would just water it down, right? And then you would use a bit of a red wash to get into the recesses, and there you go. Then you would use pink, and then I would dry brush with black. Or no, sorry, I would do the black, and then I would dry brush with like the most like vibrant purple I could find. I always found these ones were a lot easier. Just because of how it was. I mean, this person who did this is just way more talented than I am. Now, some people say these ones are are easy as well, because it's just red, black, and blue. Because you even use the gray here, right? So I'm definitely gonna try probably going with... Ooh, that's a really nice job. The Tyranids at the beginning, especially because I mean, you save what, 180? How much money do you save there? 264.50 minus, what was it, 180? Yeah, just minus 180. Yeah, you save $84.50 Canadian. So I mean, right there, the 84.50. If I get my paints, which if we go to painting and modeling here, I don't want to make this video too long. We go to paint, contrast paint. Theoretically, I'd want... Let's get a good image here. A red, black, and that turquoise. So if we go red, black, turquoise... I mean, I'm not doing that. There's a turquoise there. Red, then black. Then I'm gonna need a white. Wait, is there no white? I mean, there's the skeleton horde. And there's apothecary white. No way, you're telling me there's only one white? No, there can't be just the... Wasn't there something like called like White Scar or something like that? We'll take this... Oh wait, am I even looking in the right spot? Am I looking at contrast paints? No, I am. Here we go, whites. Oh my gosh, there is only one white. Well, let's add that in. Well, I also want to remove that. Remove that. Remove that. Let's remove you, you, and you. I want to go back to Xenos, Tyranids. Sorry if you can hear that noise. That's my one of the fans on my computer going. Alright, so we don't want the white. That's good. Let's look at what we have real quick. White, black, red, turquoise. And I want yellow for the eyes. But I don't want that. I want something like... yeah. Yellow for the eyes. And then I'm going to get an off-colored ink. I believe they're now called shades. I'm trying to think of a color that would go well with red. Then again, whatever I paint this, look at the whites. You know, I'm going to go with the... oh. I definitely want a green. I'll go with the ball green. Because what I'll do is I'll do the tongue... well, no, I'll do the... because I want to do the teeth white with a little bit of green. Tongue... nope. Well, there we go. So this color here wouldn't be too bad for those spots because it's got like a little nice little brownness to it. So it definitely would kind of take your eyes away from the skin a little bit, maybe. Shows you the different colors that you can do with it. I like that. Black Legion, Templar. Templar's the one I got. What would be good on those recesses? You know what? Let's maybe go with a... maybe go with an orange, actually. Oh yeah, so you can't actually hear that one. Stuff. That's good. You know what? Let's add that in there. And I think that's it. Oh, I would need... did I grab a black? Yep, I grabbed the black. So that would be that. Would that be gray? Actually, that would be a gray. Brown, maybe? That's just a lighter... go with that, actually. That's a gun thing. Because then my plan is to... because I grabbed a regular white, did I not? Yeah. So I should be able to... oh wait, no, that's a... what I actually need is I need a regular white, not one of those whites. So I want to go with a layer. There we go, white scarf. Boom. And then I am low on where I would need a primer. And I would do that. Yeah, no big deal. And I want a white scar as well. Alright, so the end up price would be, theoretically... I mean, I'm not buying it right now. Oh, are these limited to a store? Yeah, $302.70 is how much it's going to cost me, Jesus, to get back into this hobby. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. So I'm not ordering it just yet. Because right now I don't have $300 to piss away. So what I might do is initially buy the models. I might look at an alternative for the primers. Black primer won't be too hard to get. A good white primer might be a little hard to get. I'll have to see if the local hardware store has any good primer. I mean, if I can't get a good primer and this ends up being crappy, well, there you go. But yeah, there we go. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. Not 100% set on the colors. I will temporarily and defer the idea of the colors because I don't think the turquoise is good enough here. Yeah, I don't know about the turquoise. I might have to change that color a little bit. Oh, that's the... Oh, I gotta take the door off my... That's the glass on the... tempered glass on my computer. Yeah, one of the bearings went in the fan, so... But yeah, so there we go. So I am going to be going with probably the Tyranids sometime in the new year. Plans to do like one video a week, give or take, in this. But yeah, there we go. So that's theoretically what I'm going to be doing. If you have any ideas as to color for someone who's really shitty at painting, put it down in the comments below. But yeah, there we go. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.